While we wait for Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party to tell us which of the Gandhi siblings, if any, will fight from Amethi or Raebareli, on the Newstrack tonight, we are focusing on the impact the Prajwal Revanna allegations can have on the second part of elections in northern Karnataka. South Karnataka is done and dusted. The battle now shifts to North Karnataka, which is not a JDS stronghold. It's neither a Vokaliga stronghold, but there is a lot of talk around the sexual misconduct charges, rape charges against the JDS leader. What impact could it have on the battlefield in Karnataka? We look at that on the Newstrack tonight.
Sex abuse storm in state of war Karnataka. Prajwal Revanna's VVIP entitlement. Horror escalates, holiday extends. Lookout notice now against Prajwal. Father Revanna seeks anticipatory bail. Who will bring back the Predator Neta? The big focus on Newstrack.
I've got breaking news coming in at the top of Newstrack that another allegation has been levelled against Prajwal Revanna case. A young man has reached the police station in Mysore to file a complaint that his mother has been kidnapped. The mother was apparently kidnapped at the behest of Prajwal Revanna's mother. That's the charge that's being levelled. As per sources, the young man's mother was a victim of Prajwal Revanna's sexual harassment. We'll get you more details on this story in just a moment. Let me take you through all the headlines we're tracking tonight. Congress's Amethi Raebareli suspense continues with Rahul and Priyanka take the plunge. Tomorrow is the last day to file nominations for these key Uttar Pradesh constituencies. BJP drops Brij Bhushan Sharan Singh, fields his son Karan from Uttar Pradesh's Kaisarganj. Dinesh Pratap Singh is fielded by the BJP from Raebareli. Vote Jihad showdown intensifies. Prime Minister Modi slams the opposition, calls it Congress's bid to incite Muslims. Explosive revelations in Delhi Police's news click chart sheet. Cops claim founder Prabir Prukayastha paid Shaheen Bagh and CA protesters. Campus chaos escalates in the United States. Los Angeles cops face off with pro-Palestine student protesters at UCLA. LAPD clears encampments. For the latest on the new allegations that have been levelled against the Revanna family, I'm joined now from Bengaluru by our bureau chief in Karnataka, Nagarjun Dwarkanath. Nagarjun, a third victim of Prajwal Revanna, has filed a police complaint. What details can you give us about the FIR that's been registered by this young man who claims his mother has been kidnapped at the behest of Prajwal Revanna's mother? What's going on here?
Rahul, it's getting murkier as day passes. Each day passes as well. Today, another fresh complaint as we speak is being filed in Mysore, is what we are told. A young man has reached out to a police station saying his mother is also a victim of the videos that has gone viral. His mother is a victim of the sexual harassment from Prajwal Revanna and family, and also now has alleged that Prajwal Revanna's mother, Bhavani Revanna, has kidnapped the young man's mother, or the victim is what the complaint states. An FIR is being filed under the sections of kidnap as well as we speak. Once we get get the FIR copy in hand. We'll have more details, but this news just came in moments before the show started that the police have made sure the person who's reached the police station to calmly sit, explain and give details as to since when did this happen, who told him that it was Prajwal's mother on behest of her, his own mother has been kidnapped. He's been given details and also he has confessed before the police that his mother videos have gone viral with Prajwal Revanna. So this is the third fresh complaint that we are getting access to of Prajwal Revanna. Second complaint was a victim who has recorded a statement in front of the magistrate at 5 p.m. this evening under the section 164 of CRPC. We haven't got access to her statement yet, so let's consider that as a second complainant. And the first complainant has already been there in Hassan, a cook who was working in Prajwal's or Revanna's house. That's the first FIR. Second complainant has already registered a statement under section CRPC 164.
Thanks for that, Nagarjun Dwarkanath. At least 3 women have now come out and accused H.D. Revanna and his son of sex abuse and harassment. A lookout notice has been issued against JDS MP Prajwal Revanna, who is currently holidaying in Germany. India Today has learned that Prajwal's return ticket has been booked for the 15th of May. Here's the latest.
Heat is mounting on JDS leader Prajwal Revanna, who is caught in the sex tape scandal. Karnataka Home Minister has revealed that a second victim has come forward to lodge a complaint against former Prime Minister Deve Gowda's grandson. The special investigation team has offered protection to victims and families if anyone wants to record statements. The SIT has issued a lookout notice against the JDS candidate from Hassan.
Lookout notice has already been issued and it has been informed, and our Honorable Chief Minister also returned to Prime Minister, cancelling the diplomatic passport. All this process is going on. We are hoping that the investigation will be completed as quickly as possible.
Prajwal Revanna has sought 7 days' time from SIT to appear for questioning, but the request was turned down. The SIT is likely to issue another notice to the leader. Revanna's family has rallied behind Prajwal.
ಯಾರು ಏನು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಚಾರ್ಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. SIT ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. SIT ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು ಯಾವ ಉದ್ದೇಶಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಾಬೀತಾಗುತ್ತೋ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕಾಯ್ದು ನೋಡೋಣ.
India Today has accessed Prajwal's return ticket from Germany, which shows that the JDS leader will be flying to India on May 15. The flight will take off from Munich at 12:05 p.m. on May 15 and will land in Bengaluru on May 16 at 12:30 a.m.
1 year before that, these kind of morphing images were to be used so as to defame him for various reasons. So for that purpose only, 1 year back he had filed a civil suit and there was an injunction in his favor. And probably if at all the so-called victim or so-called aggrieved person, I believe probably they should have first gone to the civil court, shown that there is some genuine material with them, and then they could have they are open to take the steps before the criminal courts or elsewhere.
Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Amit Shah went all guns blazing against the Congress, accusing it of letting Prajwal flee the country.
सर, कर्नाटक के मुख्यमंत्री सिद्धरामैया ने पत्र लिखा है प्राइम मिनिस्टर को कि प्रज्वल रेवन्ना की पासपोर्ट अब कैंसिल कर दीजिए, हमें मदद कीजिए.
जब पकड़ना था तब पकड़ा नहीं और अब पत्र लिख रहे हैं. कई साल से, कई समय से इनके पास ये था, मगर जब तक फोकल लीग वोटिंग समाप्त नहीं हुआ, इन्होंने अरेस्ट नहीं किया, इसको भाग जाने दिया. ये कर्नाटक सरकार की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है.
Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah hit back, questioning the BJP's silence on the charges against Prajwal Revanna.
A second woman has come forward today to file a complaint with the police alleging Prajwal Revanna of sexually exploiting her. We need to wait and watch when Prajwal Revanna will indeed be arriving back to India, because our sources tell us that by May 15th, Prajwal Revanna will be back to India. However, the SIT has summoned Prajwal Revanna to appear in front of the panel at the earliest with no excuses. With camera person Madhuwar, Anaga Keshav reporting for India Today from Bangalore.
So what impact will the Prajwal Revanna sexual harassment charges have on the Battle of Karnataka? One of the most important states going to polls in phase 3. Remember, the Vocal Liga's stronghold is Old Mysore, southern Karnataka, which is where voting has already happened. This CD was in the air in the political circles of Karnataka for much longer than the first phase. So why has this been made public after phase 1 polling in the Vocaliga strongholds was completed? Is there a conspiracy there? And what impact can this have in northern Karnataka, which is where the JDS is not as strong as it is in the south, and therefore it's really just a marginal player. There are lots of conspiracy theories doing the rounds, and most importantly, what happens to Prajwal Revanna next. To talk about all of this, I'm joined on the broadcast by Ramakrishna Upadhyay. R.K. Upadhyay is a senior journalist in Karnataka, and remember, he's been traveling for India today to different parts of the state, and therefore has a very strong first-hand view of the mood on the ground. We've got Harish Bijur. Harish Bijur is a brand strategist, follows politics very closely, has been with us on our election pundits panel during the Karnataka elections. For political perspective, I have with me Aishwarya Mahadev, spokesperson of the Congress. Surbi Hodegere joins us, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, and Nagarjun Dwarkanath is still with us. I want to go across to Aishwarya Mahadev first. Now I want to build on what Home Minister Amit Shah said in that interview we did with him in Karnataka, that this was deliberately made public after the first phase of polling got over, that you were concerned that this may become a flashpoint amongst the Vocaliga voters. You wanted to ensure that they'd first voted, then you wanted to embarrass the BJP and the JDS, that's why you made it public. That this is not a simple case of law and order, that this CD has been known in Karnataka's political circles for a long while. You've deliberately chosen after the first phase of polling to splash this in the public eye because you're hoping to benefit from it politically. Aishwarya Mahadev, respond to that.
Good evening, Rahul. I think first and foremost, this Prajwal Revanna affair and the horrors of Hassan get worse by the day with more information that is coming out. And I think this is one of the most morbid or the most shocking situations that the country has ever faced. And for the Home Minister, let me just respond. The Home Minister is at an election rally. He had time to talk to other people whose families had suffered, but no time, obviously, to offer anybody in Hassan. But let me ask, sir, when he says that, this information was public, while everything else is speculation, the BJP leader from Hassan, Devraje Gowda himself, on 8th of December 2023, on 11th of January 2024, in February and March of 2024, along with leaders Pritam Gowda, A.T. Ramaswamy and other Hassan leaders, spoke to the self-same man who made the statement to Nagarjun. Amit Shah was informed categorically as to why Prajwal Revanna should not be given a ticket. So while Mr. Amit Shah would like to speculate as to why things were done before or after or whatnot, sir, there is an investigation. And since, again, the state has its own investigation, but of course, the center, when it comes to opposition rule states, are always quick to jump and talk about law and order situations. But in the Prajwal Revanna case, have been abjectly silent. And, next thing, Rahul, the one thing is, this is not just a South Karnataka, North Karnataka issue. This affects women pan-India, that a sitting member of parliament was allowed to get away with such sort of impunity and the sort of entitlement.
How did the central government allow him to get away, Aishwarya Mahadev? It's your government that's in power in Karnataka. You control law and order. You control the police. He ran on your watch. You had prior information of this CD. If he's fled, it's really on DK Shiv Kumar and Siddaramaiah and the Congress government in Karnataka.
Rahul, on the same argument, I can ask you who the airport authorities and who the passport control and who handles diplomatic passports. Because a simple example, my leader Priyanka Gandhi said even if she travels 2 days to go abroad, you see number 1 and number 2 talking about her traveling abroad. But was it really that when they knew the news, because it took them 3 days to condemn this entire act of Prajwal Revanna, do you believe they were not aware? But let's not do the mudslinging. It's very simple. The state government is doing what it has to bring Prajwal Revanna to justice. We expect the central government also to unequivocally support this, because in their speeches they talk about how they condemn him. But what is the status of the alliance? What are they doing about Kumar Swamy, who is now shaming the women with the way that he's talking? What are they doing about...
Now let Surbi Hodegere come in. Surbi, point number 1, it's very clear from the statement of the driver of Prajwal Revanna that the CD and the information about the misdeeds of this member of parliament was handed over to a local BJP leader who'd lost against him and had fought the last Lok Sabha election, last assembly elections. Why then, despite knowing that this was in the air, that this was somewhere in the horizon, did the BJP go ahead with a rank opportunist alliance, especially given that you claim that yours is a party with a difference, that you want to protect women, and that you will not be okay with men who've been accused of this kind of sexual misconduct? Your actions seem to speak very differently from your words.
Rahul, the case in question, first and foremost, is, grotesque and definitely condemnable from every angle. We are strongly standing with the women who, at this point in time, are fighting for justice, not only because of the fact that they were violated in a specific way, but also because that violation was done so publicly and then spread for political benefit, which, added sort of fuel to the injury and worsened the injury in itself. So I think that there are a lot of...
No, but you aren't answering my question. Why have this tie-up? Why allow Prajwal Revanna to fight when your top leadership already knew that there was this sexual misconduct charge against him and that there were CDs where he'd been filled in the act doing all kinds of things which are not acceptable?
Why are you construing that the leadership knew about this? Because somebody has gone on air and said that they made the same person, the BJP leader, has said that the local leader has said that he sent an email which did not go through. And at the same time, it's a misconstruing over here that the leadership knew about it. We have been very clear that this was a JDS seat and the ticket distribution was done by the JDS, period. Right? I can ask the same question of the India Alliance members or anybody out in other political parties as well. What about the women of Sandesh Kali? What about people who have committed crime? Lalu Prasad Yadav is literally the torchbearer of the India Alliance, and he is accused of all sorts of things. That is not... Can I, Aishwarya? I've listened to you very patiently.
I just said your name. Please go on.
Yeah. So this attempt to tie the BJP into this, we have made it very clear this is a JDS-related internal matter. The alliance was not based on whether or not we want Prajwal Revanna to contest. That was a JDS-related decision. That was not something that...
Now that's an important counter, Aishwarya, that this is really to do with one JDS leader. How can the BJP top leadership be blamed for this? I mean, they're not accountable for Prajwal Revanna's actions.
Narrative.
And she also claims that email sent by this local BJP leader never reached the BJP top leadership. Now, there's no way for you and I to know what's the case because we don't have access to their inbox.
Okay. Rahul, just a few responses. While you can say that the email did not go through and whatnot, because disowning your own party members seems to be the order of the day when it's not convenient for you, because Devaraja Gowda is a defeated candidate of Hole Narsipura who's contested against Revanna himself. Let me give you two examples. Pritam Gowda in March, who was your ex-MLA of Hassan, basically went on record and was in the media saying we do not want Prajwal Revanna to contest. If it was a purely JDS sort of conversation, why did he respond? Today, A.T. Ramaswamy, who used to be an MLA of Arkalgur who joined the BJP, has gone on to say 4 months ago, this is not just a mere BJP leader, he's been an elected representative. He went on to say 4 months ago he had apprised the top leadership. Please disown everybody that you want, but the one question I have, why was it that Amit Shah, Mr. Kumaraswamy went on record to say Mr. Amit Shah did not want Prajwal Revanna as a candidate, but we persevered, and then we saw that display of Prime Minister Modi holding his hand and, lifting it up and saying, vote for Prajwal and we will be stronger and whatnot. You can systematically disown whoever you want, including your JDS ally, because you sought to benefit from the old Mysore region with that alliance. But the reality is this, you are as complicit in the crime of knowing what Prajwal Revanna was doing as anybody else. And if you don't have a response, you can divert from it, but you have no facts to prove to the contrary.
I want to give you a response, Aishwarya. I definitely want to give you a response because your desperation to link the BJP to a crime that we are incredibly far away from and very clearly stating that we are against is palpable and might be because Northern
break
Karnataka
your alliance. Cancel his passport.
is not a, I get the jitters coming out of northern
If you
Karnataka.
will, 1 second,
Give
stop
me
the
to speak. 1
conjecture.
second.
It's the
You are
facts.
telling
Aishwarya
me.
Mahadev, you're
you
being
are
unfair.
telling
You're not
me-
letting Surbi complete.
You are
So she
telling me
makes no
that
sense,
all the
Rahul.
people in Karnataka knew that these things were happening and BJP leaders knew. I want to ask you, first and foremost, DK Shivkumar did not know. These happened in 2015. Prajwal Revanna was endorsed when he became a candidate of
How
the
does
NDA.
she know the
Whose
timeline when the
candidate
SIT hasn't
is he?
declared it?
He is currently,
Does
when he was
BJP
sitting
know
MP, he
something
was
we
at
don't,
Congress.
Rahul?
You've forgotten that the JDS and Congress were in alliance when Prajwal Revanna contested.
Does she know the timeline that
You
the SIT
remember
doesn't?
that, right?
Does Surbi
You
have
remember
information that
right?
we don't?
That you were also in alliance with the JDS, and
Is
you have
Surbi
distorted
coming out and
the
telling
kind
us the
of
timeline of these
desperation
videos?
that you're trying to. The point here, Aishwarya, with your politicking, we are forgetting that there are women who are victims of this, and that this sort of an abuse that has occurred is being used for political gains, because you do not.
So I want to, as you can see,
that
this has become a matter of hot political back and forth between the BJP and the Congress. I just want to zoom out for a moment and ask the bigger question. What impact can this have on the third phase of polling where northern Karnataka goes to polls? And for this, I want to activate the India Today Election Intelligence Dashboard. We'd look at phase 3 and I look at Karnataka, and then we'll try and get a sense of what's at play. So if I remember, it's the northern part of Karnataka which goes to polls. There are 14 seats that are up for grabs. All these are seats of the BJP. So this is heavily saffron. So starting Bagalkot, Belgaum, Bellary, Bidar, Bijapur, Devangere, Dharwad, Gulbarga, Haveri, Raichur, Shimoga, Uttar Kannada. So that's the belt where polling is happening. And if you look at the vote share numbers from here, 63% of the votes were with the BJP, 33% with the Congress, right? So if you look at a party-wise breakup, it's 55.8 for the BJP, 7.2 for the JDS. Congress was at 33.1%. These are the 2019 Lok Sabha results. So this is very strong in a Lok Sabha context, BJP territory. The question is, does the Prajwal Revanna case make any difference? The NDA is sitting at 61, the India Alliance at 32. That's how much the gap is. It's almost double. I want to go across to Harish Bijur on this question. Harish, do you find it very intriguing that this CD, which, forget what Surbi and Aishwarya are saying on the show, leaders in Karnataka and in Delhi knew about this CD before phase 1 polling was completed, while the campaigning was still on. They've chosen to make it public after voting in the Vokaliga areas is over. In the north, there are far fewer Vokaliga. That's more Lingayat territory and other communities. What, according to you, explains the logic and the timing? Because it's very counterintuitive. You'd imagine if the Congress really wanted to embarrass the BJP and the JDS, they'd make this public while Prajwal Revanna's seat hadn't gone to polls and when the JDS core area was still seeing campaigning. This is completely counterintuitive. Why do you think that's happening? Harish Bijur.
Well, Rahul, I'm going to be running out soon because I'm at Cochin Airport, rushing to Bangalore to meet a very important event, which is the rain in Bengaluru. If you ask me, the typical issue is getting curiouser and curiouser by the day. Actually, each of the three parties involved know the truth, but none of us know the truth, and that is the reality. And therefore, at the grassroots level, whatever the truth is, there is going to be a little bit of a tu-tu-meh-meh going on, and there's going to be a little bit of, protecting the bases and the bastions till the election is over. And therefore, you see the noise. One noise is countered by another noise, and yet another noise echoes from somewhere else. And this reality is actually clouding the issue. The key issue is the fact that this is a horrendous act, needs to be acted. But coming to that quick question of yours, to say, is it going to impact the electorate? I do believe it is going to impact the electorate. Because, there is a very large segment of voters which belong to women in Karnataka who are going to the polls in the next phase, the third phase. So if you look at it, it might impact that segment. And I think that is what every political party is trying to do. Possibly the Congress is trying to impact that. And possibly the BJP and the JDS is trying to avoid the impact of that. And therefore, the truth is all around, but a lot of politics clouding it all.
Okay, so before you run away, I also want to ask you about the kind of impact you think this will have. Do you think it will just be marginal impact on the fringes, which doesn't really, because there's a 30% vote share gap between the NDA and the India Alliance in the 14 seats of Northern Karnataka, where the polling will be held in the third phase. Unless it leads to a seismic change, it's not really going to impact the end outcome. What's your sense? Is this very marginal, the impact, or could it be major?
Well, my reading is that it's going to be marginal because, the truth, whatever it is not known by anybody. Everybody is defending and everybody is offending. So the offense is on, the defense is on. It all depends on the impact of how strong the defense is. Physics just doesn't work here. Every action, Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Doesn't work here. Every action has an unequal and possibly not a very opposite reaction even. Because if you look at the entire case, I think we can write a case study on this for sure at the end of it. It's quite exciting in the political dynamics that's being rolled out, a point versus counterpoint. So not
okay, Harris Bijur, let me not get you to miss your flight. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Nagarjun Dwarkanath, when does he come back? You broke a story about a ticket being booked. 15th is when he's supposed to be coming back. Is that the soonest, or can they drag him back sooner?
Well, at this point of time, Rahul, that's the only ticket that Prajwal has booked with his passport number. No other ticket has been booked. Most likely, he might prepone it, is what we are told. But as of today, he's taking a flight from 15th May from Munich and landing in Bengaluru on 16th early morning, just half past 12 is what we are told. His lawyer has sought 7 days extension, where the SIT has rejected that extension, saying that we'll issue a fresh notice. You have to appear to the date and time that we choose and not as per your wishes. So there's a pressure on Prajwal Revanna also. In fact, Home Minister went on to say that if Revanna and his son Prajwal doesn't adhere to the notices given by the SIT, most likely the SIT will move in for the arrest of both father and the son. In a couple of days, I think the SIT might move for the arrest.
And has this created any stress in the alliance between the BJP and the JDS? Given that it's really BJP territory, not so much JDS territory, has it muddied the waters for the alliance?
Well, I feel the BJP already has distanced itself from this whole controversy of Prajwal and JDS, including Kumaraswamy himself has distanced. The BJP party seems to be cornered in terms of perception, because they were caught unaware of this whole scandal, I feel, because if they knew it, I don't think they would have advised at least Deve, Gowda and family to not put Prajwal Revanna in Hassan. But what they want to do is, like they've conveyed to the JDS, that this is an internal matter of the JDS. You guys deal with it. The JDS has already suspended or expelled Prajwal Revanna for till the investigation is over. But what the state BJP is also doing is they're also going on an offensive that DK Shivkumar and DK Suresh possessed this pen drive much before. They chose to release it now, is what the BJP narrative is saying. So people are buying that narrative also on ground.
Why would they do that? If they had this CD before this seat went to polls, when they could have really embarrassed Prajwal Revanna in the eyes of his voters and embarrassed his father, embarrassed the Janata Dal Secular, embarrassed Deve Gowda, why did they hold it back till voting got over? How does that make sense?
That's exactly the question that India Today asked DK Suresh and DK Shivkumar. Both of them did reply that if at all we had the possession of the pen drive few months back, we would not wait till the election to be for the videos to be out. We would seek justice for the women much before, and in fact even before the alliance went on between JDS and BJP, we would be questioning the alliance as well back then. Why would be sitting quiet is what the Congress is saying. But except for the BJP Neta who had the pen drive, his claim is that the driver who initially had all the videos from Prajwal, he claimed that he had given it to the brothers DK Shivkumar and DK Suresh as well, both the brothers, that he had transferred the videos as well, and not just to the BJP candidate. But only the SIT investigation will tell us as to who did the driver officially give it to. Was it transferred to the Congress party or was it given to the BJP party? Till date, we don't know how did the videos get viral, who leaked it, and that's the big question that SIT will also do. As of now, I am told that they are looking at the driver's phone as to did he forward it to BJP or the Congress first.
Okay, Aishwarya Mahadev, given that there's a 30% vote share gap between the BJP and the Congress in this part of the state, and the fact that experts seem to believe it could only make a marginal difference, do you think in a political context, while it's obviously hugely embarrassing for the Janata Dal Secular in particular and also for the alliance, but it might not really impact the voting equations in northern Karnataka.
Rahul, there are a few important observations here, and I think Nagarjun and you pointed it out, that if really the damage had to be done in the old Mysore region, where the Congress and the JDS are head-to-head in contest, and if we were in possession and wanted to be this base and debased as human beings, this may have happened before. But the reality today is that we have seen how the Congress fares in the old Mysore region in the MLA elections, and a very curious thing for North Karnataka. While everybody thinks it's a Gowda, the JDS are only a Gowda party, Deve, Hippargi, Shimoga Rural, Gurmitkal, Devdurga and Hagri Bomnalli are 5 critical seats held by the JDS in North Karnataka, which predominantly form power seats or what used to be BJP seats held by the BJP. Today, if you look at the way that the JDS is being decimated by its own alliance partner, completely dropped and whatnot, I think it is also a larger speculation that the BJP might be looking at taking over what is left or what is remaining, because the predatory carrion bird behavior of the BJP with its alliances and its allies, we've seen everywhere, be it Bihar and in Haryana. So I think if
are you suggesting that the BJP is trying to cripple the JDS by putting this out? You've got a counter conspiracy theory?
I'm just saying, for all the speculation they make about my boss and DK Suresh, the reality here is that the BJP has shown whether it is with...
Who's your boss?
My boss is Mr. DK Shivkumar. He is the PCC president in the state. Isn't he all the Congress workers' boss in the state, Rahul? And the fact remains that you see that the BJP has done this repeatedly. So this may...
so now let Surbi respond to this charge that women voters in Karnataka may be irked by the fact that these charges have been leveled. It may not shift the vote en masse, but because you got a state government, in any case, it would have been a tighter fight than the last elections, and therefore, even a marginal difference may account for quite a lot on a few keenly contested seats.
I'm happy to answer, but I don't want to be interrupted like the last time. What I'd like to say is 3 things, Rahul. First and foremost, the Karnataka Congress and the way that they have been handling law and order issues in the state, this another episode is very, very obvious that the Karnataka has no handle, or Karnataka Congress government has no handle on law and order matters. Whether it was Neha Hiremat issue or the fact that they formed this SIT 3 days after the videos came out. The fact that they let Prajwal Revanna go, and it was the Congress government because they must have intimated the people who were there in the airport, that was not done. Second, the fact that they were, the Congress has come out and openly acknowledged that had we had these videos before, and if our intention was to, politically use them, we would have used them, shows the sort of politics that they end up doing. This is a very well-known thing that the boss that Aishwarya speaks of was also in possession of these videos. So why did he not act? This is the KPCC state president. Why did he not?
Where are you speculating from? Why are you lying?
I'm speculating. I'm speculating from the same information that you are drawing conspiracy theories on.
About the Congress.
Why do you interrupt me, Aishwarya? Let me get
no sense and you're lying. Do I have to write it
Karthik,
for
please,
you?
first and foremost, don't talk to people like that. Don't talk down to people like that. Everybody's listen to me.
Maybe if you had
Karthik, the driver has very clearly said, what is this arrogance you show? Why do you show this arrogance?
Ladies, I know that the weather, it's really hot
Karthik,
and
the
political
driver
fireworks
has
are flying in the
claimed-
skies. But this is not how I run debate. So let's just take this one at a time. I can't have both people speak at the same time. I want to go across to R.K. Upadhyay. R.K. Upadhyay, you've been traveling for India Today to different parts of Karnataka. You have a good sense of the mood on the ground. Do you think the Prajwal Revanna charges make any impact to what will happen in phase 3 on the day of voting?
Rahul, unfortunately, due to some technical problems, I could not join earlier. Let me tell you a few facts that I've gathered, talking to some very key persons in both Congress and JDS. This is something very revealing. From what I heard from these people, it seems that the Congress leaders, especially DK Shivkumar, had come to know about Prajwal's alleged sexual harassment case about a year ago, not now. And some videos reached his hands about 9 months ago. And then some Congress leaders discussed these issues among themselves, and they knew that they were potentially explosive and could be used in the elections. But some people warned them that since the alleged perpetrator is Deve Gowda's grandson, they need to go about it cautiously. And as you know, the Vokkaligas constitute about 15% of the population, or 1.45 crores of people, and Deve Gowda has been their undisputed and highly respected leader for almost 6 decades. So they reckon that if they unleash this sleaze weapon during the elections, it could either work for them or it could completely boomerang. So the whole thing was put on the back burner. And one more thing is, H.D. Revanna, who enjoys an excellent relationship with Siddaramaiah, in fact, he approached Siddaramaiah about 6 months ago and told him, please make sure that this is not used. And Siddaramaiah and Revanna, they have a good relationship. They agreed that it not come into the open. And
then
also
why put it out after the first phase of polling?
I'll tell you, in December, in fact, Revanna even sent his another son, Suraj Revanna, to meet D.K. Shivakumar. This has been confirmed by people very close to Shivakumar. And personally to request him not to make it a political issue. And, they were not sure how this will work out. And, if they had used it before the first phase of elections, it could have either gone wholly in favor of the Congress or it could have boomerang on them completely. And they were stunned. They didn't know how to use it. And they decided they will use it only after the first phase is over. And that is how we had this whole thing coming out on the 27th. This is the background to this whole thing. But still, games are being played because both sides are very, very cautious. They know it can, boomerang on either of them. So this being
that
the case,
really reeks of rank opportunism. Aishwarya Mahadev, R.K. Upadhyay, who knows his Karnataka politics better than most, saying D.K. Shivakumar knew many moons ago that the CD existed. Several months ago, he actually had a copy of at least some of these charges, and yet he chose not to go public with them. That just reeks of political opportunism, Aishwarya Mahadev.
Rahul, for all the speculation that is there, if you gave the same consideration to the public statements of representatives and MLAs who personally have said we've communicated this to the BJP leadership, maybe we would have far more productive outcomes. But the second thing, Mr. Upadhyay talks about Mr. Suraj Revanna meeting D.K. Shivakumar. Mr. Suraj Revanna has gone on record to say it was about nothing to do with my brother. I am a sitting MLC from Hassan district. I had gone to ask for funds and also because he is the Minister for Irrigation to ask about work. It was not a courtesy call. It was a professional work engagement for me being an MLC to talk to the Deputy Chief Minister about my constituents. One. Second is the large discourse on speculation, right? When you give the benefit of the doubt to the BJP, when they say we absolutely did not know, do you not believe that the Congress leadership also being in responsible positions, because we are not the party that gave the man who sexually harassed wrestlers, his progeny, a ticket because we couldn't give him one. We're not the party that refused to basically register an FIR where an Olympian had to go to the Supreme Court to ask for relief. We're not the party where a body of a girl is burnt in the middle of the night when you talk about Hindu Dharma without any of the sanskar because you want to cover evidence. We're not the party with a Kuldeep Singh Sengar. We're not the party that basically will try to stop the voices of women. We have taken action from the day one. You saw the Women's Commission taking cognizance. Where is the National Women's Commission? The State's Women's Commission has done its job. There's a POXO allegation as well. And where are the national constitutional authorities? Why is the BJP not talking about it? Why is the BJP not breaking the alliance and taking the strictest action?
Okay, so the final words from you on the silence of the National Commission for Women and the fact that Braj Bhushan Sharan's son has been given a ticket in Kaisarganj because the man who was accused of sexual assault, obviously giving him a ticket would have been too much of a scandal. So instead of breaking away completely, you've given it to his son, which is almost the same thing.
I would just like to say that, again, Congress spokesperson, watch how I listened to you when you spoke. I would expect the same respect from your end as well. Now, when Brij Bhushan's case has come, I don't think that his son is liable for the mistakes of his father. You talk about, progeny being given tickets. Let's look at a mirror in Karnataka, where the number of ministers, daughters and sons and aunts and uncles have been given is quite huge as well. And they are not answerable for the crimes of their minister, father, mother, nor are they answerable to the achievements of it. That's where Parivarvad ends. Now, with respect to Karnataka, the buck stops with the Congress government. It formed this SIT 3 days late. It allowed for Prajwal to escape. The fact of the matter is that we must have been much more on our feet. And I do believe that finally, because you're giving me the last word, Rahul, finally, it is about the women who have been abused, whose lives should not be played as a game for political benefit.
And here's what I want to say before I wrap up.
Very
we need to bring
saddening
Prajwal
that
Revanna back. This man has very serious charges, and I feel that only a part of the charges are even in the public domain yet. As women are empowered when they see action being taken against him, more and more will feel strong and bold and come out and actually speak and talk about the horrific crimes he committed on them. Many of them much older than him, almost the age of his mother, begging and pleading that he not do any kind of sexual atrocity against them. But he seems to be completely depraved, and now he needs to be brought back, and the full force of the law needs to come down on him. What impact this has on the phase which happens in Karnataka next is something we'll track. For the moment, I want to thank all our guests for joining us. The Congress party still hasn't told us whether Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra will be fighting from Amethi and Raebareli or not. Remember, tomorrow is the last day of filing nominations for this seat. Meanwhile, new posters of Rahul and Priyanka have started coming up at the Congress and Congress office in Amethi and Raebareli both. Rahul's posters in Amethi and Priyanka's posters in Raebareli. Now, does this necessarily mean something? We don't know, but the posters are being put out this evening. Permissions have been sought for rallies. Tomorrow, Preeti Chaudhary joins us. She's with her motorcycle at Amethi at the Congress office right now with her election dispatch. Preeti, what does this poster mean? You're speaking to these people. Have they got any indication at all, the Congress workers on the ground, that Rahul Gandhi will contest, or it could be somebody else in his posters there just because he's the leader? Do you have any clarity yet?
You know, they have no clarity, but what they say is that they've been told, and there's also permission that has been given, Rahul, here for a 1,500 motorcade road show tomorrow in Amethi. It's been sought, and the permission has been given. Now, there is a sense here, the cadre who's been sitting, for days at end, hoping that it is going to be Rahul Gandhi. I'll ask my camera person, Hitesh, to just come and give you a sense. I have with me, क्या लग रहा है? आपने दोपहर में मुझे बताया था कि राहुल गांधी का नाम आएगा, अभी तक तो आया नहीं।
मैं तो आपको दोपहर में बताया था, मैं आपको फिर कह रहा हूँ, आप सुबह नामांकन में राहुल जी के 11 बजे सादर आमंत्रित हैं। मैं तो अभी भी यही चीज कह रहा हूँ।
कौन, किसने बताया?
हम लोगों की स्ट्रेटजी ये है कि बस स्मृति ईरानी और टीम बीजेपी को एक रात और सुकून से सोने नहीं देंगे। हम लोग उनको परेशान करके रखेंगे और सुबह हम अपना नामांकन इत्मीनान से करेंगे। हमारी तैयारियां पूरी हो गई हैं। हमारा हर बूथ से 5-5 यूथ और 5 जो सीनियर कांग्रेसी हैं, 10-10 लोगों की टीम यहाँ पे आ रही है। हम लोग पूरी तरीके से दिल खोल करके नामांकन करेंगे। हम लोगों ने अपनी पूरी तैयारियां कर रखी हैं। हमने अपने रथ सजाने के लिए दे रखे हैं। हमने सारी
रोड शो की परमिशन मिल गई है।
रोड शो की परमिशन मिले या ना मिले, जनता जुनून में है। जनता अपने नेता
बताइए, अगर नाम नहीं अनाउंस हुआ, मैं फिर वो सवाल करूं।
आप वट की बातें मत करिए। मैं आपसे बार बार यही कर रहा हूं, जनता ने एकदम तय कर लिया है अपना नेता चुनने के लिए, और राहुल भैया भी अमेठी की भावनाओं की कदर करते हुए सुबह जो है फुर्सतगंज एयरपोर्ट पे उतरेंगे और उसके बाद सीधा कलेक्ट्रेट जाकर के नामांकन दाखिल करेंगे और पर्चा तो खरीद लिया गया।
There's a sense of excitement, you'd say, Rahul, but I want to bring in, he calls himself, क्या बोलते हो अपने आप को? पूर्व
अंधभक्त।
पूर्व
अंधभक्त, क्योंकि 2019 में मैंने बीजेपी को वोट करके पाप किया था, और मेरे कई सारी नौजवान साथी हैं जिन्होंने बीजेपी को वोट करके
किसको वोट दिए थे 19 में?
स्मृति ईरानी को जी को दिए थे, लेकिन बेरोजगारी ऐसा मुद्दा है। मैं स्टूडेंट हूँ, मैं MBA किया हुआ हूँ, लेकिन
और अब कांग्रेस से हो?
नहीं, मैं कांग्रेस से नहीं हूँ। मैं अभी आया हूँ बाहर से, इंदौर से पढ़ के, तो मैं यहाँ देखने चला है कि क्या माहौल है, क्योंकि यहाँ नेशनल न्यूज पे चल रहा है ना।
ये स्टूडेंट है, ये व्यवसायी है, ये किसान है। लोग घूम घूम करके सिर्फ ये जान।
अच्छा, ये बताइए, अगर मान लीजिए आप, ये तो मतलब बोलने तो दीजिए ना, अगर गांधी परिवार से कोई नहीं होता, मान लीजिए KL शर्मा का नाम अभी अनाउंस हो जाए,
ये दिल मानने को राजी ही नहीं है कि भैया को छोड़ करके कोई और नामांकन भरने आएगा, तो इफबट का सवाल ही नहीं। आप सोचिए कि हम लोगों का भरोसा इस लेवल का है, तो क्या भैया हमारे ये भरोसा तोड़ देंगे? सोचने की बात, मतलब आप सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं, हम लोग इस चीज को सोच भी नहीं सकते। अमेठी की आवाम इस चीज को सोच भी नहीं सकती है कि राहुल अगर नहीं आएंगे तो ये तो तय है ना।
आपका दिल ना टूटे। राहुल, it's over to you, but you get the sense on the ground right now where the cadre is concerned, very excited, hoping that it is Rahul Gandhi. They're convinced it's going to be the Gandhis.
Well, just the Congress cadre being enthused about Rahul Gandhi's presence isn't enough. They need to swing the rest of Amethi as well. Remember, he lost by 50,000 plus votes. We've got Mausmi Singh joining us. She tracks the Congress party for us. Mausmi, what are your sources in the Congress telling you? Are the sources going to fight, or will we actually know who's going to fight, or will they ultimately just put up these sources who've been doing the talking for the last several days?
See, Rahul, you've seen how the Congress leaders who are speaking out have different versions, you know. The CEC, the screening committee, all proposing Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka's name. And then you have the final word with the Gandhis, and then again it goes back to the CEC. Then again the final word with Mallikarjun Kharge. And 4 days from that CEC meeting, we haven't heard a word about who's going to be the candidate from Amethi and Raebareli. But for Rahul Gandhi saying that whatever the CEC decides, I will abide by it. So it's a big confusion galore right now as far as I can see it. And many in the Congress believe that that this is a big mess up. It's very late in the day if you want to announce another candidate. Very unfair for the new candidate to in fact take all the brunt from the Congress workers as far as, you know, not being a Gandhi and contesting the elections. People will see him as a replacement for him or her, as a replacement for Priyanka or Rahul. So it's a catch-22 situation. What we do know for a fact is Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are back in Delhi. They would be talking. Mallikarjun Kharge has had a word with Rahul Gandhi. And I'm told by a senior congressman that by 9 o'clock we should hear on who's contesting these two constituencies.
By 9 o'clock, which is just like in 12 minutes from now. That's a dangerous, brave thing for Mausmi to do, saying that there will be some information. As of now, there isn't any. You know, the sources are doing all the talking, the Gandhis aren't. We don't know whether they'll bite the bullet or not. It does make things more exciting, but imagine if Rahul Gandhi loses twice over to Smriti Irani, what does it mean for his future political career? But as Mallikarjun Kharge has been saying in these meetings, you know, if you don't fight, then what hope does the Congress have of revival in the Hindi heartland? So it's a double-edged sword. Fight or flee. We will know soon, hopefully. Something more than just sources are saying this and sources are saying that. This is where I wrap up. My sources tell me it's time for Newstrack to end tonight. I'm off to Kashmir over the weekend. Baramulla, Anantnag, Srinagar. So that's let's see what Naya Kashmir looks like and what the leaders on the ground have to say, and also the voters.